first year here. I mean, they probably didn't even want to draft me here. You know, it's probably one of those things, but it always handles itself. I know I've been through a lot personally, but I want to steer it from the direction of how good this team has been to playing together, being together, challenging one another. When we experience some painful times and some tough times, we always find a way to overcome. So, you know, you want to be going into it in a situation like this, and you know we have a chance to, got a chance to go out there and win it all. So we want to prepare to go do that.
Hello, everyone. This is Al Kabir, the analyst, and today I'll be talking about Jalen Hurts calls out the Eagles fans. He also calls out the Eagles organization. This is Al Kabir, the analyst. Let's get into it, man. First of all, I want to congratulate Jalen Hurts doing this thing, NFC Conference champ. He heard the doubters. He heard the haters. He always said that was motivation. Till this day, I still think it's like 60-40, 70-30. Like, people that like him and dislike him. The time he was drafted, I could say was more dislike than like. Just to get to the point of like the organization, well, the fans. I really can't speak for the organization, but it kind of makes sense why people didn't want him there when he was first drafted. As a fan, it just didn't make sense at the time. It's like we just came off a playoff loss to the Seahawks. Well, Carson Wentz did deal with another injury, but it's like, okay, he concussed, we come back, let's add another piece. We just paid Carson Wentz $100 million. Why not add another piece? That's me coming from a fan. It wasn't really, oh, I don't like Jalen Hurts. It's like, the pick just didn't make sense. It's like us, I want to say similar, we go into this draft and we try to get another number one wide receiver. Even like another A.J. Brown. Like, that don't make sense. Like, why would we pick another big body wide receiver? Now, a speedster, that makes sense, because I'm not sure Quez stay another year. Like, we get a speedster wide receiver, but we get like another big body wide receiver in the second or first round. It's like, great, but that don't make sense. So it just didn't make sense. Just to speak from a fan's perspective, because he probably seen the reaction videos. There was a lot of viral reaction videos of Eagles fans when we drafted Jalen Hurts. Now, more and more reports come out about how basically Carson Wentz really don't want to be an Eagle. Carson Wentz didn't really speak on it himself. He hinted to it a bit when he went to the Commanders. He was like, well, I was a bit, he was a bit self-centered. Everything revolved around him. He mentioned, like, he hinted at. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense now. That's why we drafted Jalen Hurts, to replace that. And then he was a lackluster leader. No offense to Carson Wentz, but he just couldn't get the team going. So, yeah, man, we picked a great replacement. And I believe the organization thought the same way. It's like, okay, Howie's on doing his Howie thing, but this don't make sense, Howie. We just paid the guy $100 million. How you going to get out of this? He got out of it. He traded Carson Wentz to the Colts. Carson Wentz get traded again. And look, we back in the Super Bowl, so that lets you know. Look where Carson Wentz at, no offense, and then look where Jalen Hurts at. No offense to Carson Wentz, it's just the facts. So, yeah, man, at the time, it just didn't make sense. But he carried that hate. Still, people now, beginning of the year, I'm like, when I was sold on Jalen Hurts, it was his second year. Not when we beat the Saints, actually. It's when we lost to Arizona. That's when I was sold on Jalen Hurts. So I'm like, this lack of talent, don't really got no playmakers, but to have a close game with Arizona, lose by 6, and you was up, and Arizona is like a Super Bowl contending team, to play that hard with that team, man, I was sold. I'm like, yeah, he's the guy, because he could get the team going. Like, he kept spark after spark after spark. And then I start thinking that season when we had a bad record, I'm like, if we played the beginning of the season instead of only winning like 4 games, we could have legitimately won like 8 games with Jalen Hurts that season, in my opinion, when we had that bad season. So, yeah, I think it wasn't really hate by the fans, by the organization. It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all. I'm pretty sure, like he said, he was shocked. Like he assuming like, well, Eagles got a quarterback. Like, why they need me in the second round? And man, that bet paid off. And when he get that massive deal, big ups to him. Big ups to him, because it's well deserved. You still got Smitty on the rookie deal. They found a way to lock him up. You already got A.J. Brown locked up. You got your main pieces locked up. You got Goddard locked up. So the main pieces are locked up. Salamalo, if he happen to leave, he will be missed, because I don't see how we could sign him. But man, he have every right to feel that way, though. He got every right to feel that way, because I'm thinking if I was in his shoes, a lot of people doubted me like that. I got us to the Super Bowl. Man, I'll be talking my talk, too. And he was very humble about it. He ain't go win. He just hinted at it like, it seemed like some guys here don't even want to draft me. I was shocked. But eventually he was going to answer that question head on. And I'm happy the way he answered it, the way he wasn't like too braggadocious about it. Like, it is what it is. We still got one more game, but some guys here that ain't want to draft me, so hey, I'm with them. But from the fans' perspective, I get it. Even from the organization perspective, I get it. So yeah, man, Jalen Hurts, like I said, have every right to feel how he feel. I will be going in. You doubters, you haters, and they still out there. It's sad. I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's sad that if we lose the Super Bowl, it's gonna be happy fans, and if we win the Super Bowl, there are gonna be some miserable fans, just because they made a bad take. Here's what it is. But hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel about Jalen Hurts calling out the organization, the fans? What respect? Gotta give him the respect. Well deserved. But this is Al Kabir, the analyst.